Well, good morning. Let's try that again. Good morning. Good morning. All right. Woohoo. All right. So now that you just sat down, if you want to stand back up, we'll do the pledge. How about that? Fantastic. All right, well, good morning. I am Lisa Gray. I am the general manager of the Sun City Homeowners Association, and this is a Sun City orientation, and I'll give you a little bit of history about that in 1 second. But I do want to, let me introduce you to the speakers that are going to be speaking today, myself. Also, Leslie Schmazreed. I don't know if I said that right. She is the new director of the Sun City Condo Association. And also she's not speaking today, but Sue Clark is the president of the Condo Association, and she's here as well. And then we have Chris Nettesheim, who is the vice president of the rec center, the RCSC, okay? Just so that you know how this started, SCHOA for many years had a new resident orientation. We did it once a year, happened way before my time. Every year we did it. We did it over at a country club, and then we started talking about things about bringing it in-house. And then Chris actually reached out to me and said, hey, you know what? Have you ever thought about doing a new resident orientation? I was like, well, we've been doing it, but why don't we do a joint one, right? Because it's good for our community to understand the differences between the SCHOA, COA, and the RCSC. So that birthed a new event, and the three of our organizations are hosting it. But then when you came in the door, there's a ton of community groups here, and we're going to talk about them later in this presentation. So hopefully you'll walk away from this presentation really understanding more about our community and how different organizations have different responsibilities, but we're all working together to make Sun City the best community that it can be. All right? All right, so we're off. And I'm going to be looking down here because usually I have this up here, but so Sun City, yeah, this is not going to work too well for me, I don't think. I need an aid here, so as many times I've done this, you'd think I'd have it memorized, but I don't. Okay. So Sun City opened on January 1st, 1960, with around 100,000 visitors for the weekend. There were 237 sales contracts that were signed that day. The sales surpassed over $3 million, which back in 1960, you can imagine that was huge, right? And it was advertised as a selling active retirement. It was discovered then that selling active retirement was judged as a valuable option. And on that day, and I don't know if you can see the picture real well, but this was Grand Avenue, and you could see the traffic along the top part of the slide, and that was backed up for 6 miles, people trying to get in to look at the model homes. So Sun City is unique in many ways. So Sun City is an unincorporated community within Maricopa County. There's no city government. I know many people, pretty much everybody, when they move here, they move from a city government structure, right? So we're not a city government. So we don't have a government, we do not have a mayor, we do not have those type of departmental staff, those type of department organizations. But Maricopa County is responsible for our roads, our medians, codes, zoning issues, and law enforcement. Sun City, as you probably all know, is a age-restricted environment. It's an age-restricted retirement community. It's not just an environment, it's a community for people 55 and older. No one under 19 may reside in Sun City at any time. Children under 19 may visit for up to 90 days per year, okay? And there's no schools, which means there's no school taxes, which I'm sure everybody likes. All right, so SCHOA, Sun City Homeowner Association, we've been an advocate for the community since 1963. And Sun City was originally called the Sun City Civic Association and played a key role in developing the Sun City that we enjoy today. So SCHOA was responsible for the installation of the first stoplight on 107th and Grand. SCHOA also provided seed money to start organizations such as the Sunshine Service, which they have a table here today, and also the Sun City Posse. And we were incorporated in 1963, and like I said, we've been an advocate for the community for 62 years. And you're gonna see a lot of things that we do on top of enforcing deed restrictions. So SCHOA is not your typical HOA. So many people move here from different communities, and their HOAs pulled together or under one umbrella is all their rec things, all the rec centers, their all that type of thing, like clubhouses, community parks, and deed restrictions. Our community is not set up that way at all. All right, so our mission of our organization is to preserve Sun City property values through the fair and consistent application of our CC&Rs. So Sun City is 15 square miles. There are approximately 17,500 single-family homes and about 9,600 condo-style homes. So we're pretty big. When you think of a homeowners association, you might think of like a community of like 20 houses, maybe 150, maybe even 200. But we have over 17,000 single-family homes that we oversee their CC&Rs. Our organization is made up of 9 board of directors who are elected. They are voluntary positions. And then we have a general manager. We have 5 staff members in our compliance department and 5 in our marketing. So we are a team of 11 people. Those positions are paid and they're part-time. The part-time is, we only work 27 hours a week, the office staff. So keep that in mind as we're talking about when we get to how much our workload is. Our board of directors is listed here, and so I've got a couple of them here today. John Turco is here, and Alan Laneski is here. So we have a fantastic board. They work very hard for our community, for sure. My staff is compliance. I've got, again, 5 people in compliance. Christine is our manager, our compliance manager, and then Beth Lucas is our marketing manager, and they are all working back at that table, welcoming you in. Black and red shirts are today. You guys, I just want to really give kudos to my staff. They are amazing people. All of them, well, all but one live in Sun City, and the one that doesn't live in Sun City, we're just waiting for her to turn 55, and then she's moving in, right? She already knows. So it's a fantastic staff. They really care about the community. They all, like I said, they all live in the community. They see, especially our compliance team, when they go out into the community to talk to somebody about like maybe weeds or an issue on their property, they see firsthand these folks that are really struggling in our community. And we've had, our compliance, one of our compliance officers go out and go to the food bank for them. Give them these cards that are called Are You Okay? So that when elderly people are living by themselves, there's a program that the police department or the sheriff's office will call them once a day at the same time to make sure that they can answer their phone and that they are still okay. So we go above and beyond just, enforcing the CC&Rs. We really care about our community. So everybody that lives in Sun City lives in an HOA. I know that realtors tend to not tell the whole story, right? And we'll explain a little bit why I think that what why they think the way they think. But just so that you know, every person lives in an HOA, whether you're in a single-family home or if you're in one of the 384 condo associations in Sun City, you live in an HOA. So when I said that SCHOA is not a typical HOA, this is where one of the differences that you're going to see is that your deed restrictions are mandatory, right? We enforce those. It's a contractual agreement, so you're required. You sign those when you moved in, so they are mandatory. However, SCHOA does not have a mandatory assessment fee, right? We do not have an annual fee. We have a voluntary membership fee, $25. And so that is very different. When we're going to talk about your mandatory assessments and where they actually go to, but they don't go to your homeowners association. Condo associations are different. Those are you do have mandatory fees for those, and you pay those directly to your condo association. But for single-family homes, there's not a mandatory assessment for you to be towards your HOA. And so that's what I just said. They're not included in the they're not included in the RCSC assessments. And I'm going to show you a chart in just one second. So this is something I work so hard, our whole team works hard to try to educate our community, because when people move in, they think that when they pay their assessments to the rec center, that's all in one. That's their HOA, that's their rec center fee, and that's not accurate. All right, so here's a chart that we put together for you. So SCHOA, think about SCHOA as your protection, right? We enforce the CC&Rs. There's other things that we do we're going to talk about, but we protect your property values, okay? The rec center is all about recreation. This facility, the golf courses, the swimming pools, all the fun stuff. They get all the fun stuff. But so when you move in, you're paying your SIF fee and your PIF fee, and Chris will talk more about that. But those are mandatory fees when you move into the community, and then you have your annual assessment fee, and currently it's $650. That assessment fee only goes to the rec center. None of it comes to SCHOA. So it's just, and I want you to see the differences, right? Because like SCHOA, we have 11 employees. We have a budget of about $725,000. The rec center is $30 million-ish. We own 2,400 square feet, our little property down on 104th and Coggins. And we have an annual fee of $25, which is a voluntary fee. All right. We do charge a title fee when people move in. That's for us to go out and make sure that the properties are in compliance before a new homeowner takes the property. So we do get a little bit of revenue from that. But other than that, the homeowners do not pay any type of mandatory fee. All right, so what does SCHOA do? Like I said, we protect, right? We enforce the CC&Rs for the single-family home. We protect the senior age overlay. That's one of our top goals, is to protect that age overlay to make sure that, kids are not moving into the community, underage people are moving in. There must be one person 55 plus living on the property. Anybody at any age can buy a property here, but you have to have one person 55 plus living full-time in the property. Again, I said earlier, no one under 19. Of course, your grandkids can come and visit for up to 90 days, but they can't live with you. And so we protect that age overlay. And we need to, because if we were to get out of whack, we could lose that. And so we're not even close to being out of whack on that. But that is one of the things that SCHOA does that nobody else in the community does. We protect against legislation. We watch legislation that's coming up down the pipe during the legislative sessions. And if we see something that we are concerned about, we inform the community. We will collect signature petitions. We will speak with our legislators. We have a really good relationship with our legislators, and we also have a really good relationship with our Supervisor Lesko. They like to say, even though we don't have city government, Maricopa County does do a lot of things for us. And so the former supervisor used to say that he kind of looked at himself as being our mayor. And so that's kind of like with Debbie, it's kind of like our mayor. So we have a really good relationship with her as well. We also educate our community. A couple of weeks ago, we had a big scam and fraud event co-hosted with the sheriff's office right here. We had probably about 400 people show up. We really want to educate our community about things that could be a problem for them. And senior communities are target-rich environments for scams. And so that's one of our goals, is to educate folks on how to protect themselves. And so we host various events, and we'll show you some of that stuff too. So compliance matters. I think everybody would agree that compliance to our CC&Rs matter. So you don't want to live next door to this house, right? But this is a before picture, and then SCHOA went in and we ended up cleaning up that property. And there's a program, which I'll talk about in a minute, that we budget for to go out to certain properties and clean those properties. And again, I'll talk about that in just a second. But so you can kind of see, in 2024, we had over 4,693 reported violations to us, which averages out to about 18 per day. Most of these are citizen reported, right? We, as I said earlier, right, our staff, I only have 5 compliance staff members. 3 of them are the actual compliance officers that go out in the field. We have 1 compliance officer for each phase of our community, right? So phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. They don't have time to go around being the compliance police, like looking for things. They work off of the reports that come into us. So now I won't say that our compliance officers never write anything up. If they happen to go to somebody's house and they see next door there's a problem, they'll document that. But we don't go around looking for things. So sometimes if, you might see something on social media that somebody got a letter for weeds and don't they have anything better to do, and they're just driving around picking on people. We don't have the time. We don't have the resources to do that. But 4,693 complaints in 1 year is quite a lot for our community. And again, think about 17,500 homes, 15 square miles, right? So it's a lot. It's a big community. And this is a breakdown of some of the complaints. The biggest complaint, and it's still the complaint to this day, is condition of property, whether that's weeds, whether it's trash in the yard, whether it's, the home is just falling apart. That kind of all falls under that. Age restrictions, 128, I don't want anyone to be alarmed with that, because one of the things is that people will call us and say, hey, I see these young kids over at this house. Okay, we document that as a complaint. We go and we talk to the homeowner. We find out that it's the grandkids, and they're going to be there through Christmas break, and so then we close that out. So not all of those 128 are issues that we need to be concerned about. But we do go and investigate every complaint that comes into our office. So to date, just so that you kind of see where we're at, to date, last year was 4693. As of earlier this week when I redid these numbers, we're at over 5,000 complaints. And so we still have, we're only in mid-November. So our compliance team works really hard for the community. So this is the program that I was telling you about. We call it the SIP program, the Community Intervention Program, where we budget. We currently budget, SCHOA budgets $10,000 to this account, to this line item. And so what this is we will go out to somebody's property and we will clean it. But we do a lot of homework on the property first. We just don't go, somebody calls us up and says, this house has been vacant and it needs work done on it, please clean it up. Okay, we don't go running out and cleaning up properties, right? We do homework. We try to reach the property owner. Did the property owner die? Is there no beneficiary on the house? Where is that in the legal process? I mean, it's usually there's a lot of homework that we have to put in to figure out why is that house sitting the way that it's sitting. Once we check off certain boxes, we may go out and just clean the property and then lien the property. But one of the things about doing that is that when we lien it, we don't see those funds back until that house sells. Providing that it does sell and it doesn't go into a trustee sale, then any money that's put into that house is lost. So it's a program that we do have, and it's a program that we do use, but it's not an endless flowing program, right? And again, we're on a very limited budget. So, once that $10,000 is spent, the $10,000 is spent. And so last year in 2024, we cleaned 16 properties with this program. All right, so again, this is one of the properties that we cleaned because, again, it was just sitting for a long time. And so, all right. Okay, so what SCHOA does and doesn't do. We enforce our CC&Rs. We do not get involved in law enforcement issues or civil cases. If there's a complaint between two neighbors, the two neighbors are gonna have to take care of that. We do not get involved in if there's a house that you think that there's drug running or any kind of illegal activity. SCHOA does not get involved in that. We cannot get involved in that. We're not qualified. There's no way that we can get involved in that. And there are people in our community that feel like SCHOA can do everything, but we can't. And sometimes law enforcement, it takes a while for them to build their case on what the process they're going to do on that property. So just so that we're clear that SCHOA does not do law enforcement issues. We will contact the police. We will talk with the police. We will give the police information that we get. So we will do that, but we don't get involved. We can't send them letters. We just can't get involved in that. All right, so because, and we're going to talk about one of the things our foundation does is we do this RAMP program, which we help homeowners that really can't financially keep up with maybe their lawn care or maybe some other things around the house. And so we will evaluate that situation, and if they qualify, our foundation, our SCHOA Foundation, has we accept donations and we will go out and clean that property. But so with that said, and that's been long-standing, what we created a Sun City Day of Service, and we did our first one last year. It was an internal conversation. We saw people on Facebook saying, well, I can't believe so-and-so got a letter for weeds, and well, I would help clean up weeds if they needed help. And so talking with Christine and our compliance team, it was like, why don't we put that to test? Why don't we see how many people will come out and actually help with weeds? Let's create a community day of service. So we created this day of service. The first one was, I believe, last February-ish. We teamed up with the fire department teamed up with us, the sheriff's office teamed up with us. We had a lot of the community groups, the Sun City Prides, Maricopa County, COA did, the Posse. We had some business partners team up with us. We put a call out to the community. We had about 100 volunteers that came. We were able to clean about 13 properties at our first one. And then we held another one later in the year. And we cleaned another. We had about 200 volunteers show up for the second one. Plus, we had more business partners say, hey, how can I donate? Can I donate first aid kits? Can I donate like $100 that you can use towards whatever supplies you need? Can my team come out? We had landscapers come out to help us. We scheduled them out so that they were cleaning up different areas. And so they went out, they cleaned up all the shrubbery, they brought their chippers, they cut down trees. And so last year we cleaned 24 properties, and that was no cost to the community. There was no cost to SCHOA, there was no cost to the community other than people cared about our community, and we went out and we cleaned it up. So our next one is going to be on March 27th. So I just put that little, if you want to put that on your calendar, watch for information on that. It was a really great time. I stopped off at someone's house just to kind of see how things were going, and the gentleman came out, and he was literally in tears. And he was like, I can't believe you guys came out and cleaned this. Now I can sit in my backyard and enjoy my backyard. And it's just, it's touching when you can really make a difference in people's lives that way. All right, so what else do we do? So we have committees, okay? We have a government affairs committee. In fact, Alan is our chairman, who's here today. And so this is what we do. As I said earlier, we watch legislation, we monitor that. We are going to be fighting The APS increase, right? That'll be coming out for information. We'll be sending out information shortly to you guys about that. APS wants a 14% increase when they just got an 8% increase 2 years ago. And so we are going to take the lead on that, and we're going to be fighting that. And so we'll need your assistance in letting your voice be heard. So we have a road and safety meeting. We have a road and safety committee. This committee has met, I want to say, since around 2000. And so they meet on the third Wednesday of every month at our SCHOA office. And we have members from Maricopa County Department of Transportation, the Arizona Department of Transportation, the Fire Department, the Posse. All these groups come together, and we have community input about what's going on with our roads, right? The biggest issue has been, for every time I go, is somebody's talking about speeding. Speeding through the community. But they also talk about different things that that happen to be coming up. If a road's going to be fixed, or, they want a bike lane studied, that kind of stuff. So feel free to put that on your calendar anytime you'd like to attend. They don't meet in June, July, or August, but they meet on the third Wednesday of every month at 10. We have a CCNR ad hoc committee. All this past year, we've been working on trying to update our CCNRs. We had a committee that gave input. We have had our attorney look at it. We have a little more cleanup to do, and then we're hoping to have some town halls, present what we would like to see our CCNRs change to make things more understandable, clearer. And so be watching for that, because every single homeowner will get a ballot on that, and we're going to have a lot of conversations about the changes, and from our perspective, and listening to you guys. But this was a community, this was a group of residents or not leaders, but it wasn't just decided by SCHOA. We had people from our community on this committee that shared ideas, and also what we're hearing through compliance, what people want, right? And so be on the watch for that, okay? We have an election committee. We're currently in the middle of our election for 3 new board members. And so if you are a member of SCHOA, you can vote in this election. If you go to our website, suncityhoa.org, there's a vote button right on the front. If you click on that, it will ask you for your credentials to log in. And when you put that in, if you're not a member, it will say, "You're not a member, contact SCHOA." If you're a member, it will take you right to the ballot. There are 4 people running. There are 3 open positions. The election goes until Sunday at midnight. You can pick up, we have some bio sheets on the 4 candidates that are running back at our table. So you can stop by and pick that up if you'd like to. Or you can also read them online. So our marketing department, we have a very robust business partner program, and this started like years ago too. And this is a great program that helps to protect our community. Now, our business partner program, these businesses do pay to be part of it, but they are fully vetted. We get reference checks on them. We make sure that their license with the Arizona contractors is up in good standing, that they have insurance, that they don't have any bad marks on the Better Business Bureau. And that they have insurance. And so if they pass our application process, then they're accepted into our program. Members have access to this list by logging in using their member login, okay? It's just a benefit of being a member of SCHOA. And we feel confident that, I feel confident that I would hire anybody that's on this list to come into my home. Now, we do take complaints, and we do take positive feedback. And if there's complaints, we will figure out what's going on, because if a business partner gets too many complaints, then they will be asked to leave our business partner program. But it is really a great benefit to our community. And I would love people to use this than to use random people on Facebook. So just a thought, if you're a member, you have access to this. And if you're not a member, please be a member, then you have access to this. This is what I was just talking about. We do vet them. We have a business partner coordinator. That is their purpose, that's their job, is to handle this program. We currently have 262 business partners, and they have all different, they're all in all different categories: plumbers, electricians, funeral homes, all kinds of different things. Health insurance, all kinds of stuff. All right. So then we also host events, like this one today. Resident orientation, the day of service. We just had our Lifestyle Senior Expo last week, which was a fantastic event. Our Safety and Fraud Town Hall. We have an annual electronic recycling. We do workshops and free seminars. And so there's just kind of like the logos. We started last year the Merry and Bright Christmas Light Contest. One of the things that I always thought that something like this would bring our community together, right? At Christmas, everyone's jolly, and it's like, what can we do that's a really great community event? And this really last year was well received by the community, and we're in the process of doing it again this year. And so last year, here are a couple of our winners. So we have different categories. We have got the Griswold category, which is, I think that might be the top one. No, that's not the top one. Well, I can't remember which ones are which, but the Griswold is like light, Chevy Chase, is it Chevy Chase, right? All the lights, okay. So that was one, and then we have Go Big or Go Home, which is the best use of inflatables. We have the gingerbread, which is the best use of homemade decorations. We added one last year too. Last year was the first one, but we added this small and sparkly, and that is for our condo associations, right? So their balconies, their patios, they can be separate than the houses. And then we have what we call the Whoville Award. And the Whoville Award is an online voting where all the community can vote on their favorite. And it's an online vote, and then that's the community favorite. So those are the categories. You can sign up if you want to be a part of be a contestant. The rules and everything are on our website. You also might be able to pick up the rules and stuff back at our table. But it was great. People loved it. We printed out maps that people could come into our office and then pick up paper maps. They took their grandkids out that were visiting for Christmas, and they did little visits around the community, checking them all, looking at them. And then we also have an online map. So if you're, old school, new school, we got you covered. It was fantastic. It was a fantastic event. Okay, so we have a merch shop if you're interested to celebrate Sun City. We put out a publication. We put out a monthly newsletter. And so if you want to get a copy of that, you can sign up on our website. If you're not getting that, we email those out. We also have copies in our office. We also have our Sun City map. One thing about Sun City, if you don't know, we like our maps and we like our newspapers. We just do. In fact, we had somebody that we were talking to about advertising in here, and he was like, well, I don't even think do we even use maps anymore? I'm like, well, you don't know Sun City. Yeah. We like our maps, especially when you live here and you live in a circle, right? Right? My husband can tell you, the first 2 times I left the home, when I went shopping to come back, when we first moved here, I had to call him. I can't find our house. I'm lost. So anyway, there's maps, and we've got some on the back table too. We've done for years a community resource guide. So those were the last 2. This one is coming to your mailbox within maybe the next week to 2 weeks. So be on the lookout for that. It's a fantastic. It's a fantastic guide. It has a lot of good information. Has information about our community groups, phone numbers, contacts, vendors. Hopefully you'll like it. Okay. There's also a membership application in there. I'm always thinking, right? Got to have those members. All right. So then this is our website. So you can hop on that, suncityhoa.org. And if you're on social media, please join us on Facebook. We post a lot of things about the events that are coming up, scams that we run across, different events that maybe the community groups are hosting to help elevate and encourage people to join them, like when the Posse has their blood drive or their shred-a-thon, or, we're going to talk about Sun City Can and a promo, a thing that they're doing for some of the folks here in Sun City. We put that on our Facebook, so it'd be great if you could follow us on there. And so we do, I think I've shown you that we do a lot of stuff for the community. So we protect our age overlay. It protects everybody, whether you're living in a condo, whether you're living in a single family home. We monitor legislation. It affects everybody, whether you're in a condo, whether you're in an in a single family home. We've hosted this road and safety committee for everybody. Not just single-family homes. Again, it doesn't matter where you live, if you're in Sun City. We strive to keep our water rates and our electric rates low. SCHOA years ago fought the increased water rate, the consolidation, and took it all the way to the Arizona Supreme Court. We lost, but we put up a good fight, and SCHOA led that charge. We watch out for scams, like I said. So our current membership is only 4,900 people, 4,900 homes, let me put that, homes. Remember what I said? We have 17,500 homes and 9,600 condos, and our membership is 4,900. I think a lot of people think that when they pay their mandatory assessments to the rec center, they think that that's part of their HOA. So this is an education piece to show you guys that it's not. We are different, and we do different things. So only 17% of our community are members of SCHOA. However, 100% benefit from the age overlay. And if we lost the age overlay, I can guarantee you that it would cost you more than $25, right? Would everyone agree with that? Yeah. So $25. If you're not a member, you can sign up today, or you can contact our office to double check, just to make sure. Because again, I think a lot of people think, I paid my assessment, so I am. So, because a lot of people come into our office and they show us their rec card. Like, yeah, I'm a member, and they just don't understand. So this is a great opportunity just to educate folks. All right, and then kind of wrapping up, we have a foundation. And our foundation was started, I want to say 15 years ago. It's a 501c3, so it's funded by donations. It's tax deductible. And our organization also is a qualifying charitable organization through the state of Arizona. And so if you're not familiar with the QCO, and again, I'm going to just say, I'm giving you a spiel for our foundation, but there are other organizations in Sun City that qualify for this QCO code too. Like I know Sun City Can does. There might, I can't, off the top of my head, I can't think of anybody else, but I'm sure there are. And what this does is it keeps money, it keeps your tax dollars in your community, right? So even if you chose not to give it to SCHOA Foundation, I would encourage you to look at an organization in Sun City that you could direct your tax funds to. So essentially what it does, it allows you to apply dollar for dollar credit towards your state taxes when you donate to a QCO. And that's up to $495 for a single person, or married filing together, $987. That allows you to direct your tax dollars to charities whose services you believe provide the most value to your local community. So keep that in mind when you're doing your taxes, okay? And so our foundation is one of those organizations. And what our organization does is, years ago, and when SCHOA, when our community was built, and all the walls, 17 miles or 30 miles of walls were put up, nobody was documented to be responsible for those walls, painting them, maintaining them. And so some folks from SCHOA got together, they created a foundation, and they took that on. And so so our foundation goes out and they paint those walls. Now those walls are private property, so if somebody runs into a wall, it is the responsibility of that homeowner to fix that wall. But what we do with the common painting, the wall painting, is we go and we paint the exterior walls. So we get rid of any graffiti, we get rid of, discoloring paint, so that it maintains the look of our community. All right, and so we paint those approximately every 10 years, and that's coming up. Probably within the next 3 to 4 years, the walls are going to need painting. So donations to this fund can be made through our foundation. Also, the RAMP program, which I talked about briefly. So it's a resident assistant maintenance program. So this is where residents with financial limitations, if they need help with yard care, we've just increased some of the things that we'll do under this program. So, if somebody needs help, they can contact us and we can see if they qualify, if they fall within the scope of RAMP, and then we would go out and we would take care of that. And those are through donations through our foundation. So this RAMP program helps to maintain our community standards, and again, it's funded through the foundation. All right, and we're located right down on 104th and Coggin, so feel free to stop in anytime and pick up maps for your Marion Bright, or register to be part of Marion Bright. And so with that, my presentation's wrapped up for right now. And so we're going to invite Leslie up, and she's going to talk about the Condo Association.
I think I'm shorter than she is, so you can't even see me back here. I'm looking, there was a wireless mic somewhere maybe? Oh, right here. Is it working now? Okay, I can hear myself, so it must be. Hi, as Lisa said, my name is Leslie, and I am a proud member of the Condo Association Board of Directors. I'm not going to bore you with a whole lot of background. I just want you to know that I moved here. We bought our condo in March of 2024, and I became the chair of our condo association in January of 25. So there's been a lot of change for my husband and I in not even 2 short years. So the condo association is extremely important to me, because I could not have done it without them. We're going to see. Nope. Yep. Steve and I discovered through our previous board of directors that we just needed some help in our condo association. And as you heard, there are 9,600 units, a few more numbers. That means there are 384 volunteer board of directors. So Sun City is the city of volunteers. So if I take 384 and let's say that hopefully there is a minimum of 3 individuals who are volunteering to serve on that board of directors, that means that there's 1,152 individuals living in condominiums in Sun City who are volunteering to be a part of their board of directors. The SCHOA Board of Directors, we currently have 7 members on our board. We have 2 very part-time staff members, and we have a volunteer who chooses to come in on Mondays each week and assist our office staff. The SCHOA association is extremely important for any organization, any community, because without SCHOA, those board of directors are swimming and can be sinking pretty darn quick. This is a condo board of members Bible. This is the Arizona statute that governs condo associations. That can be extremely daunting. So what COA was formed to do was to assist those 1,152 individual people in learning more about condo management, being a member of a board of director, and knowing that there is support out there for education and training as a board member. What's interesting about COA also is that we provide all kinds of information, not only for our board of director members of those 384 condo associations, but we also receive all kinds of calls and inquiries from individual condo members. And some of those complaints that I had as a new condo member is, what the heck is going on with our roads? I was very confused on who could park and who couldn't park along Maricopa, and I continued to be told by both SCHOA and COA, that's a Maricopa sheriff opportunity. So knowing that we can be members of SCHOA's committees, especially for roads and transportation, that's huge, because I imagine several of you are noticing we do have a speeding problem. We do have bicycles that need to be protected by our elderly members. And so partnering with SCHOA and Maricopa County and the Posse is extremely important to us as condo associations. I mentioned the workshops and the education, and these are greatly attended by our condo board of directors members. But they also, right now, there are several individuals throughout Sun City who are thinking about becoming a board of director on their condo association and are absolutely terrified. So what we can do for you as a condo board is assist you in developing your budget. We can assist them in looking at what the bylaws and the CC&Rs and their rules of regulations look like. And many of those have not been updated since perhaps 2014 or even earlier. And this Arizona statute is updated every year. So we are important in that respect that our volunteer board of directors, each one has a particular expertise, budgeting, managing board of directors, as well as looking at bylaws, rules and restrictions, and again, as I mentioned, just simply being a support for all of those volunteers. The condo association is actually located in Youngtown, and we are open Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 9 to 1. We do have a website, and we are excited when people contact us for an appointment to come in and visit with us. We really enjoy that face-to-face with our volunteers because we can get acquainted. So if you live in a condo association and you're not quite sure if your condo association is a member of COA, you might ask those questions. And if you have just moved recently to a condo, I want to welcome you. And I do want to let you know, I find it interesting that when we do these presentations or we have a table, oh no, I live in a home. Well, I live in a home. Mine might be just a little bigger than yours, because some of our homes in Sun City are less than 1,000 square feet. So the difference between my home and a single family home is the community that I have chosen to live within. And my home is protected under SCHOA, and I need it to be. But I also want you to know that we have no enforcement rules, regulations, but our condo boards are the ones who are keeping those living spaces painted, trees updated, landscaping. And so that board of directors for every condo association has very similar duties to protect how Sun City really does look. So if you're living in a condo, please get actively involved with your Board of Management, support them as they try to do this really hard work. And if you are a member of a condo association and you're not a member of COA, please join us. We would love to have you. Lots of free opportunities and a lot of education and support throughout the week. And really, we say we don't ever close. Sue will tell you I'm available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We're trying to help her maybe not have to be available quite so much. So we do have some very active board of directors right now, and we would love to support you. So thank you for having COA as a part of this orientation, Lisa. And if we can help you, please see our table in the back when we're finished. Thank you very much.
Okay, good morning, everybody. So we're going to try this. For those of you that have watched any of the videos, I'm recovering from laryngitis, still got a dry cough. I have a pocket full of cough drops just in case. I've got water, so we're going to try this. Welcome. I appreciate everybody from coming out. Just a really quick hands up. I do this pretty much. How many people have been here less than a year? Awesome. How many people less than 2 years, that in the 2-year mark? How about 3 to 5? More than 5. Awesome. So I do that to show that it's not just brand new people that come to try and learn about SCHOA, COA, and RCSC. We all, as we get here, stay here longer, find that we want to learn something new. So welcome and thank you for coming. So I'm the Vice President of the Recreation Centers of Sun City's Board of Directors. I was appointed in 2024, elected last year, running again this year. So I would like to beg some grace. I just came back from a month-long vacation. And I realized as I was sitting here watching Lisa's presentation, I forgot to send her our updated presentation. So I'm asking for some grace because it doesn't have exactly everything right. So I'm going to zip past those pages. So please, some grace, please. Okay, welcome to our orientation. So Sun City, Arizona lifestyle. Basically, we believe in opportunities should be limitless. We believe that we should be able to have endless choices. We believe that life should be enjoyed to its fullest. I think those are pretty standard statements. They were made in 1960. I think everybody that moves here today feels the same way. And the one thing I will tell you that I have come to believe as we age, we want what we want when we want it, and we usually want it now. So, because, we've got this time clock, right? Tick, 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 tick. Now is better than 10 years from now. So, those are the things that are unique to Sun City. So, the Recreation Centers of Sun City Incorporated were formed with that in mind, to provide you with endless opportunities, endless choices, and to try and provide you with what you want now rather than 10 years from now. We're not always 100% successful, but we work hard at it. And that is the employees and the board. So how did we come to be? Our story is very interesting. Del Webb decided, I think there is an opportunity for people within a certain economic spectrum that would be willing to buy a retirement home. And remember, these were all supposed to be second homes originally, but would be willing to buy a retirement home and invest in a community that would allow them to engage in an active lifestyle. So I want you guys to cast your mind back to the 1960s. In 1966, my grandmother was 51 years old. My grandmother was considered ancient. In 1967, She was actually told she should retire because she was getting past it. How many of us are in our 60s and 70s and don't think we're past it? That's where Del Webb was going with John Meeker. He was going towards, what do we do to keep people active, to keep them young? And now we know that literally what Sun City is part of what keeps us young. It keeps us active, it keeps us engaged. And it allows us to do it at our own pace. So basically, this is how we came to be. We started in phase 1. John Meeker got involved with phase 2. We came across Grand, and then we went across Bell, and we built. But we were not this to begin with. Recreation centers of Sun City were not this. What it was smaller groups that decided, once they kind of got into phase 2, that we needed to join together and form an organization. And that's how RCSC became RCSC Incorporated. That is literally the way we formed. We used to be smaller little groups. Like, I didn't know this until I started doing this, but Oakmont used to be its own thing. I didn't realize that the individual rec centers were kind of their own thing. So having one big umbrella organization means that everybody gets the benefit of scale while being able to manage cost and making it sustainable for us. So if you want to know more about how RCSC came to be, how Sun City grew, why it grew, how it took off, you saw that picture of all those cars on Grand, please go to the Sun City Museum. They have an amazing amount of information, and I would really encourage you to go to Sun City Museum. So what is RCSC? RCSC is a private nonprofit corporation that owns and operates recreational and social facilities in Sun City, Arizona. It's our goal to provide for all Sun City, Arizona members, residents, should they qualify and choose to participate, the broadest range of recreational and social facilities possible. That's what we are. We are a corporation that provides you with your recreational activities. You heard Lisa talk about we don't do CC&Rs, we don't do condo associations. However, we are closely aligned with those two organizations because it's part of what makes our community. So what we're not is what everybody in this room is part of, because where we end, they begin. When you come from other municipalities where you vote on bonds and things like that to have a new rec center or a new firehouse or a new school, that is where this community is very unique. And all of these organizations that are in the room today, including SCHOA and COA, have formed to create that municipal environment, and they all fill little gaps. So as you go around and to the tables and talk with them, know that these individual organizations are part of what makes what we call Sun City, which is actually not a city at all, but it's what makes Sun City. And when we think of Sun City, we think of the fact that our roads are clean, prides. We think of the fact that we see relative safety, posse and MCSO. We know that our yards are tidy and well kept. We know that we won't see school taxes, SCHOA. We know that condo associations managing their budget, helping people learn new things, COA. There's Sun City, there's the Sunshine Services, there's Friends of the Library, there's, you name it, there is an organization, there's Sun City Foundation. There is an organization that will help you do what you need to do. So while we may not have a city council and we may not have the structure you came from, we have organizations that can do that for you. So please feel free to reach out. And I know right now many of our members are faced with significant challenges. And many of those organizations are stepping up to help fill the gap of those challenges. So our mission and vision, I'm not going to read it, it's on our website. Basically, our mission is that we want to be the best that we can be at what we do. We want to consider the community members, our RCSC members, all of those things are really important to us. This is listed on our website. You should be able to find it in just about every rec center that you go to, because this is important and this is what drives us. So, we're not a city, but we act like a city. We're a bonded community that cares deeply about everything. There's many supporting organizations that lead us down the path that we need to go to be able to have that sense of community. Really and truly, we are just, recreation centers of Sun City are part of the cog. They're part of the wheel. We may be the part of the wheel that you've signed a facility agreement with and you pay your assessments to keep all of the facilities running, but we are part of the wheel, and we try, and we have been working together with our community organizations to help improve Sun City and what we offer. Oops. So, the one thing that somebody said to me when I first came here and I was running for the board was, wait, what? I'm an RCSC member? I was surprised that there were many people who did not realize that when they signed their closing documents, that they were actually RCSC members. When you close on your house, you signed documents. One of those was a facilities agreement that committed you to, in perpetuity, to pay your annual assessment. What that annual assessment, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but what that annual assessment means is that it helps support all of the different facilities that you have, the organizations you belong to, the clubs, etc. So as a member, if you pay your assessment fee, as a member, you're a member in good standing. You get access to any amenities available to RCSC members, and you have the ability to join committees, to be on clubs. You have the ability to vote for your board of directors. You can attend board meetings and speak. You can attend exchanges, board exchanges, and speak. So we have, as a member in good standing, that is part and parcel. It's not just that you're paying for the rec centers. It's not a rec center fee. This gives you the rights of a member, which means you can vote, you can comment, you can come to influence how things are done. So how is my PIF money used? So at the beginning of when you close on your house, you pay two funds. Preservation Improvement Fund fee. We just had a discussion about that, so I apologize. But a Preservation Improvement Fund and a Capital Improvement Fund. For the Preservation Improvement Fund is $4,000. It's used for large-scale projects. And the reason I'm bringing this up is there's often a misunderstanding of how the monies can be used. For PIF fees, it has to be large-scale projects like Mountain View, for those of you that might be interested in what's happening at Mountain View, or potentially a golf course renovation, what just happened at Quail, or maybe Lakeview in the future, or any other renovation we might need to do. But it has strict rules pertaining to how the funds can be used. So it's over a certain amount, and it has to have a capital value. It has to be last for 15 years. So we can't buy something with PIF funds that will become obsolete in 3 years. We can't do that, which means it cannot be used for operational costs, because everything we do operationally doesn't last that long. How is my capital improvement fund money used? That is basically in 2025 it's $1,500, and it's used for smaller projects with a lower cost and a shorter lifespan, such as golf maintenance equipment and smaller facility upgrades. Some club work, like clubs that put in requests that they want things done, say they're in a club space and they need new ventilation, things like that, right? And there's also strict rules around project cost and longevity. that also has a requirement that something has some longevity. It's not like going and replacing the pool water. You can't use SIF funds for that either. So it cannot be used for routine operational budget needs. So how is your annual assessment money used? Well, it's $650 this year, and it pretty much maintains everything. It buys new chairs, it provides coffee in the back, it keeps the lights on, it will do things for you like add ADA-compliant door openers to doors when they break. So basically, it's the day-to-day running of our community. It allows us to ensure that I can speak into this mic. It allows us to ensure that the fitness centers are in good repair, but it also covers the salary and benefits of our employees. So your first stop when you become a member, you close on your house, your first stop should be card member services. Many people don't realize that. I was surprised to find out that we actually have members who have never gotten an RCSC member card. I wonder, when they close, did anybody say to them, hey, you should go get this card because it gives you access to all this stuff? I talked to one lady who didn't have a membership card. She was younger. She didn't have a membership card, and she was going and paying outside for a fitness center. And I'm like, why are you doing that? We have 7 fitness centers here at RCSC. And she says, oh, I can use those? I thought that was just for, and I'm not going to say what she said, but she thought it was just for. And I said, no, it's for you too. So something to keep in mind. Stop at Cards to Member Services. They'll process your paperwork. They'll provide you with your member numbers, your member cards. They're authorized any club space usage you might need. So if you want to join clubs, then they'll allow you any usage that you might need, should there be access controls. And they'll also provide you with any additional information you might want about your membership. Your second stop should be the visitor center. You may have already been to the visitor center, but the second stop is that if you go to the visitor center, they provide new and existing members just with information about everything. All 124 clubs are there, everybody in the back there that are ancillary supporting member resident organizations. All of those are there. So some of the things to think about are publications, about our organizations, club information, copy of Sun City Undies, they do have printed, and much, much more. So how are we governed? We are governed by a board of 9. There are 9 directors. 3 are elected each year by the bylaws. And we are responsible, we have a fiduciary responsibility to the corporation and therefore to the members to ensure that we use the funds that you have entrusted us with as a corporation wisely and in a way that the members are indicating they would want. Hence, coming to the board meetings, we do the monthly board meetings, the monthly exchanges. Coming and speaking is really important because what you say does matter. We listen, we take it away. Understand we have people that speak loudly and we have people that speak softly. And we listen just as carefully to the people that speak softly as we do to the people that speak loudly. And many people don't speak in public at all. Many people choose to send us hundreds of emails saying how they think and feel about what they think should happen here. All of that influences our decisions. And then the board weighs and acts based on all of these inputs in a way that we believe and we work towards ensuring that we meet the members' needs, because that's important. But we also have to ensure that we don't do anything that puts the RCSC Corporation at risk, because that puts all of your investment at risk, every facility at risk. We can't do those things. So that's how we're governed. We do have an election coming up. I will tell you. I would recommend that you go on the website and look at the information about the election. I told you I'm running. Jana Mapes, one of my fellow board members is running. I would like to encourage everybody to get engaged, everybody that's here, get engaged, come to the meetings, look at who's running for the board, and vote. This is the current board. This is one of the things that is missing. Janet is not on here, so I apologize to that. So how do we become board members, board directors? We're elected by the membership in a December election, or we can be appointed. I said I was appointed in 2024 and elected for 2025. We also have a general manager. The general manager collaborates with the board on member impacting activities and runs the day-to-day operations of our corporation and works with their senior management group to implement the decisions, directives, and initiatives of the board. So if you think about it, there's 9 board of directors, there's a general manager, and then there's 4 management directors. So it's kind of like that. We have, this is one of them that was not updated, so I'm going right past that. I will tell you, we have a new general manager. Her name is Rebecca Hill. She is amazing. I encourage you, when you guys see her around and about, to have a chat with her. She came from Chandler, and she has been just a breath of fresh air for us. Mike Durmeyer, who was our acting general manager, has gone back into the director of operations position. He's able to focus fully on that. We have Kevin McCurdy, who is our director of finance. We have Eddie Renio, who's our director of golf. And we have Mike Whiproad, who's our director of facilities. So that's our RCSC management. So we also have the Sun City Foundation. So the one thing I want to talk about with the foundation is every donation that you make helps improve Sun's RCSC, because if they're spending money or getting grants, that's towards RCSC, but they also help the members. We have a percentage of members who, through the passage of time, find it more challenging to meet their facilities agreement commitment. The foundation is there to help them. Last year, we had 60-plus members that we assisted. This year, we're on target to be over 100. So if you are looking, if you're part of a club, or if you're looking for a donation, they are a 501c3. You're looking to make a donation, you can make a donation to the foundation. You can do unrestricted or restricted funds. It's up to you. But restricted funds go to assessment assistance. In other words, if you donate money towards them, that money goes to help pay somebody's assessment fee. That through, like I said, the passage of time, they have come to the point where it's more challenging for them to meet that commitment. So please stop by the foundation desk and talk to them a little bit. I know they're looking for volunteers as well, so please, I encourage you to do that. And we have activities. So we have 7 pools, 7 fitness centers, bowling alleys, 2, and club activities, 124. And we have Mountain View, Fairway, Oakmont, Lakeview, Sundial, Bell, and Marinette. We have Grand, which is primarily a clubs activity facility. And we have the Sun Bowl Amphitheater. We have the Duffyland Park. We have Meeker Mountain. We have Viewpoint Lake. We have 8 golf courses. So regulation ones are south, north, lake, west. We have non-regulation ones, which are executive courses. And this says 127 clubs. I guess we lost 3. But we have fall, winter, and spring concerts. We have Fun Out of the Sun in the summer. And we also, if you look for the Christmas tree that's going to be up soon, have a partridge and a pear tree. So, I think that as you look at everything that we offer a ton of wonderful things for people to be engaged in and active. So how do you get engaged? participate. You know, come out, be there, join a club, join a committee, come to a member exchange meeting, come to a board meeting, send me an email, send the board an email at Board of Directors at Sun City AZ. Share your email address with RCSC, read the Sun City Update, follow RCSC on Facebook and YouTube, or visit the Sun City Museum to learn more about Sun City in general. So, thank you guys for taking the time to listen to me. Thank you for being here. We really appreciate it. And I'm going to hand this over to Lisa, who's going to talk about all the wonderful people in the back of the room that are here today to tell you about their organizations. Thank you. And I didn't cough.
All right. There were a couple things I was going to say when I first started that I forgot, so I'm going to just say that now because I know that when I get done with this little segment, everyone's going to get up and they're going to rush to the tables and they're going to want to get more information. So one of the things I just wanted to say, thank you to the rec center crew for setting this up, setting up all the tables, the chairs, making the coffee for us, always being welcoming. They do a great work, the staff here. This is being recorded, so we will send out an email with the new link. With the link, we advertised it, or we recorded it the first go-around, but we'll be putting this out so you can watch it and share it. And then also, I just really want to emphasize, and I think Chris kind of touched on it, we are, all of our community groups in SCHOA, COA, and the Rec Center, we are all working together for the betterment of the community. And this hasn't, honestly, this hasn't happened in years past, but it has happened this year, and it is beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. I'm so thankful. We have a leadership coalition meeting that has been going on for many years where the leaders of all these groups get together once a month to support each other, to talk about what's going on in their sphere and how we can support each other. And it's just it's a fantastic thing. And I really want the community to know that your leaders in this community are working together very well. And it's wonderful. All right. So with that said, the City of Volunteers, right? That's the name of our community that we inherited that. We have a very rich history of volunteerism, and as Chris mentioned too, about filling those gaps. Since we're not a city, people have risen up to fill gaps and needs that people in Sun City have needed. So the first one, and how many people said that you were here for a year or less? I thought a lot of hands. Okay, so my question is have you heard of Sunshine Service? How many have heard about it? Raise it. Okay, so what Jim Sinclair, who is the executive director, he always likes to say it's the best kept secret in Sun City. And so the last time we did this, I asked how many had heard about it, and the majority of the people had raised their hand. So I'm like, well, it's not that big of a secret, right? But now it is for you guys so that you can hear about this. So Sunshine Service has been in existence since 1961. And what they do is they help supply residents only in Sun City needs for durable medical equipment and other household durable medical equipment and other household items free of charge. And so they lend medical equipment such as wheelchairs, crutches, hospital beds, walkers, just to name a few things. They never charge a fee. They loan everything, and though donations are always appreciated. They are housed in a 22,000 square foot facility, and their inventory is valued at over $1.6 million. They've received local and state and national recognition, and they're a charitable nonprofit organization, and they're funded by voluntary contributions and memorial gifts. And so if you're driving by, stop in, check it out. It is a huge, fantastic resource that SCHOA has had, or not SCHOA, that Sun City has had since the early 1960s. The Sun City Prides. John Turco is here. He's the president of the Prides. They're the bright orange shirts. You might see them cleaning up the streets or on the streets, picking up trash, planting shrubs and trees. And so the Prides organization stands for Proud Residents Independently Donating Essential Services. Say that fast 3 times, right? But their mission is to assist Maricopa County in keeping Sun City clean and a beautiful place in which we all live. And they've been doing that since 1980. The organization has historically kept Sun City beautiful. And I'm mentioning their orange shirts, so you can definitely pick them out. They're responsible for the welcome signs as you drive into the community. The Prides became a nonprofit organization in 1982. And by 1983, they had 319 volunteers. Today, they still have over 200 volunteers, but that doesn't slow them down. Maricopa County estimates that they have donated 62,000 hours of work, and that they have provided a value of more than $400,000 annually in the upkeep of our community. So in the slide that you see, the number of Prides, number of years that they've been in Sun City are 44, number of volunteers 200, number of volunteer hours in 2024, just last year, 4,100, and they cleaned about 40 miles of property. So they are a fantastic organization, and we're blessed to have them. All right, the Sun City Posse. So the mission of the Posse is to enhance the safety and well-being of Sun City residents, and they work closely with Maricopa County Sheriff's Department. Along with patrolling the streets, they provide a variety of services to all residents, staffed by an all-volunteer team. In 2024, they received 32,603 calls, ranging from emergency medical calls, community policing and assistance, home vacation watches, welfare checks, and missing persons. So in 2024, the Posse volunteers worked 67,919 total hours. Of this number, 24,132 were worked in patrols, conducting duty necessary to be the eyes and ears of Sun City. So, I mean, it's phenomenal that we have a posse that does that kind of work for us and really helps our community. They came to us about a year or so ago, and they said, "Hey, do you want us to monitor vacant properties for you? Like, do you want us to drive and look at vacant properties?" We were like, "Oh my gosh, that'd be fantastic." So we provide them a list of properties that we know are vacant, and they will make regular, routine visits, making sure that the houses haven't been broken into, that type of stuff. So they're always out looking to help our community. All right, Sun City Can. So I mentioned this earlier, and I'm going to touch base about something that they're doing in just a second. But so this organization, the Sun City Community Assistance Network, known as Sun City Can, was founded in 1968, and they were incorporated in 69. So you guys see this, trend that these organizations have been around for a long time. Their mission is to connect low-income senior residents with resources such as utility bill discounts, APS and gas crisis assistance, taxes, help them with their taxes, food stamps, Medicare savings, and freezing property values. They also work with SCHOA with our ramp program. So if somebody's interested in having work done on their property, they can go and visit with Sun City Can, and Sun City Can will have them fill out an application and determine if they qualify for our ramp program. And one of the things about us teaming up with them is that we used to do that on our own. But if somebody qualifies for our ramp program, they may qualify for other things that Sun City Can offers them, right? So why not be able to give that resident all the assistance that they can be eligible for? So they're also a 501c3 nonprofit, and their primary income comes from donations received from residents. Last year, they received contributions from about 1,800 households, and they never charge for the services that they provide. Recently, because of the whole government shutdown and the discussion that there was not going to be any funding for SNAP, what they've done is they've reached out to the community and they've said that they're setting up a temporary relief program for some of these folks that they work with to be able to help them supplement the funds that they need for the food and items that they need. And so they're asking the community if they would be interested in donating $25 gift cards to them or some non-perishable food. Now, I just heard that they are overflowing with food, and they're not going to be accepting food anymore after Monday, the 10th. But if you are interested in donating a $25 gift card to help with this, you can visit with the Sun City Can table, all right? You can also donate to them online on their website. All right, the Lions Club. So we are really blessed because we have 3 Lions Clubs in Sun City. We have a Sun City Host Lions Club, a midweek, and an early bird. And these groups, they all have their, the Host Club's been here for more than 60 years. The midweek's been here since 1972, and the early bird's been here since 74. And they do a lot of things. If you're not familiar with the Lions Club, I encourage you to visit their table. But they do a lot of things where they collect older eyeglasses and hearing aids. They provide eye exams and eyeglasses to underprivileged school children. They present American history, flag history, and to I think 3rd graders, and then they give like little flags to them. I've actually been to one of those. It's very fun. They, of course, the Salvation Army, right? They ring the bell for the Salvation Army. They do food drives. So anyway, they have a big presence in Sun City. So if you're ever interested in being part of a Lions Club, you have 3 choices. Meals on Wheels is another organization that serves Sun City. And so they've been delivering meals to residents here for 52 years. They have their volunteers deliver 70 meals per day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And so their service is helpful for residents that are experiencing like surgery, recovery from surgery, illnesses, special diets. They have difficulty cooking for themselves. So this is another organization that if you're interested in getting involved in, we have one right here in our community. The Sun City, the Friends of the Library. So we have 2 libraries in Sun City. We have one at the Bell Rec Center and one at Fairway. And then we have this organization that kind of teams up with them, if you will. Their mission is to enhance the community through support for the libraries, and they work closely with Maricopa County because the 2 libraries that we have are under the umbrella of Maricopa County. So they work with them to help maintain our libraries. They operate a used bookstore, which I love, called Books Around the Corner, and that's located at the Bell Rec Center. If you haven't stopped in there, highly recommend it. Between 2015 and 2024, book sales from that little store generated more than $366,000 to help fund new library equipment and furnishings. So and to pay for improvements and sponsor special programs. And then in 2024, they committed $40,000 to our 2 libraries. So they do raise money to help pay for some of the expenses of Maricopa County having those libraries there. Yes, so we're blessed to have them and to have 2 libraries in our community, one up in Phase 2 and one down in Phase 1. All right, Chris mentioned this. How many are familiar with the museum? Okay, so some hands. Well, if you are not familiar with it, I highly recommend you go visit. It is the very first model home that was built in Sun City. The interior of it, like you're walking into the Beaver Cleaver. How many people understand that? Okay, good. But it's like you're walking back in time. I love it. I love it. The retro stuff, tons of history. I highly encourage you to visit it. And so you will learn about the rich history of our community, how it was created, how it got the name, how it was essentially noted as the community that changed a nation. We were the first planned community, retirement community in the nation. The museum opened in 1990. as the Sun Cities Area Historical Society, and in 2010, it was renamed for the man responsible for this community, who was Del Webb. Yeah, when you walk in, like I said, you feel like you're stepping back in time. Many visitors anticipate visiting like for 20 minutes, and they end up 2 hours later saying, we're going to be back, right? So one of the things about, so this is a bucket list. You've got to put this on your to-do list, and you need to do that. They have provided I don't think, here's what the property looks like. Here's the house, little pink house. Again, it's like you're walking back in time. And so this is a great book that they have. It's the celebration of the 25th anniversary of Sun City. And we have placed a golden ticket under somebody's chair. And if you want to check under your chair to see if your golden ticket is under your chair, we have a book for you. And then I believe it's a membership. And we will have you go back and see Linda. Nobody has it? Check under your chairs. Beth, where'd you put that ticket? This happened last time. We were like, oh no, what if no one's sitting in the chair? Okay, we found it. Winner. Woo! All right, sir. So you got the golden ticket. So before you leave, stop and see Linda at the museum table, and she'll give you a copy of this book. And then I believe she's also going to give you a membership to the museum. So, all right, well, congratulations. All right, another fantastic, our first responders here are fantastic, you guys, the fire department and the sheriff's office. The fire department, you know, when I was talking about the day of service, both of these organizations, they teamed up with us in that day of service, but the fire department, they offer a variety of different things. They offer the popular lockbox program. So for those who aren't familiar with that, it's a box that goes right outside of your door, and some of you might already have those on your homes, and you put your house key in there, and only the fire department has access to that key. And the reason you want to do that is if they have to get in, you don't want them to break down your door, and then you have to buy a new door and a new frame and all that stuff, right? So the lockbox, there is a fee to that, and you can check with the fire department on what that is. But they will come out, and if you have one, they'll come out and replace the key at no charge. So you might want to definitely get one of those put on your house, on your homes. They also will provide free smoke detectors along with a home safety survey. They are fantastic. We have a great fire department. And same with our sheriff's office. We have a great sheriff's office. Deputy Cromwell is here today with us. They work closely with us. And I know I keep saying and that's irritating me. So, but they just partnered with us with our fraud safety and fraud town hall too. And then one of the final things is our Banner Olive Branch Center. So that our Banner Olive Branch Senior Center is located at the corner of 103rd and Grand, and it's part of the Banner Boswell Del Webb Hospital Medical Center. This center has been in operation for 35 years serving our community. They provide hot meals every day. I don't think they're on Saturday and Sunday, but every day. They participate in, you can participate in free activities. They can make friends there. They have benefits, checkups. They offer benefits like checkups, blood pressure checks, classes that include exercise, nutrition program, counseling, health, educational events, health screenings. And this is all for individuals who are 60 years and older at no charge. So that's a very great resource that we have in our community. So you can see that we have a very rich history in volunteerism. And so, again, these groups really fill those gaps that city government might fill. So if that stirs something in you, you want to volunteer, you want to get involved in one of these organizations, they're here to talk to you. They're here to answer your questions. If you have any questions for SCHOA or the rec center, we have tables back there. Our compliance team is there. We can answer questions for you. When you came in, you got a goodie bag. Inside that goodie bag, there should be information on every one of these community groups. So if you don't have time to stop, you can look in that bag and there's contact information for them. And so we are going to have another one of these in March. I can't remember the date, but in March, we're going to have 2 of these a year. So if you run across neighbors and you think that this was good for them to learn about it, learn about our community, encourage them to come. And I really want to thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate you spending the time with us this morning. So make sure you visit our tables, all right? Thank you.